Definitely exercises discretion is the better part of valor. Craig Forsyth backs out of that. We do appreciate everybody's patience. The tech issue was user error. The producer didn't hit the go live button, so thank you so much for pointing that out. Thank you so much for pointing that out in the chat. We've got everything squared away. We are live now from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is the finale of the Horizon IndyCar Series. Mark Murphy, Ryan Eric King with you. We got everything going. It was kind of a rush job. There were problems with the sessions, as Dirty Quai alluded to, Ryan. And when you get like that, sometimes there's a rush. And I simply did 99 things on the checklist, and I forgot to hit the final button. So thank you so much, everybody, for your patience. We are lap 3. We haven't really missed anything. Craig Forsyth sat on the pole. Sheridan Wade has put it 3 wide, flashed into the lead. It's Wade Mitchum, Forsyth, series champion Alex Miller, and he's got Lith Fox climbing his outside. And Lith Fox looks really racy back there in 5th, Ryan.
Yeah, it's seemingly the top 10 or so are all just in a line, and they can barely be separated. And they're trying to claw for every position they can.
They most certainly are. You saw a little bit further back, that's Charles Teed in the multicolored Robbie Gordon liveried car there behind the red machine of Gary Lovern. Teed was way down on the bottom of the speedway. Looked like he was going to try to make a run to the bottom of Lovern. Now Teed's going to try to go up top, as is Lith Fox on Alex Miller. So we're keeping an eye on these two battles. Sandwiched in the middle, that's Matty Wagner thinking, man, I'm glad I've got a couple of car links between myself and these guys. Lith Fox going to flash the outside one more time. Now, Ryan, one of the things that we can do in the sim, and you can't really do it in real life, is you can run the top here due to the absence of marbles in iRacing.
Yeah, and it can be really beneficial in turns 2 and 4, where you can use it to get a run down the straights.
You know, most certainly so. And look, you can make a run if you position your car right, and I love doing it. You can position your car to make a run such that you pull to somebody's outside right at the exit of turn number 2 or turn number 4. It's a really difficult maneuver to pull off, and you better hope that the guy behind or the guy in front of you is anticipating that you're going to be there, because he's going to get the outside call right when you're unwinding the wheel to go out to the wall on corner exit. But you can pass a lot of cars if you can make that move stick.
Yeah, it's definitely worth trying if you'd pull it off.
Lith Fox looks like he is definitely trying to pull that off. He's pulled up on the back of Alex Miller, and he's been working to that high side for several laps now. Sheridan Wade leads it from Mitchum and Forsyth. Alex Miller 4th. We are watching the battle for 4th. We also have Chris Stouffer pulling the inside of buddy Matt Wagner going down the backstretch into turn number 3. Stouffer on the bottom, and that's Wags on the high side. So with 8 laps, or we're coming to get the start of lap 8, I'm going to hit Ryan Eric King with the first bit of knowledge. First bit of knowledge for tonight. Who won the first motor race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? Who won the first motor race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Now, I know it's a trick question, because the first motor race here at Indianapolis was not the first Indianapolis 500-mile race.
It was not. It was a 5-miler, so twice around. Do want to point out that Chris Stouffer has made the move on teammate Craig Forsyth. Whoa, we got a crash going into 1. It's Stouffer and Mason Mitchum.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Caution is on the speedway. Chris Stouffer, Mason Mitchum, hard into the outside wall, and that is going to end the day for Chris Stouffer. Well, it's at least going to put him on pit road. Same with Mitchum for extended repair. My goodness gracious. There you see Stover, Ryan. He went to make the move, and he kind of flared back out to make the corner contact with Mitchum. Mitchum goes up into into the wall and kind of rides it on top of the wall there. You'll never see an IndyCar do that in real life. But he rides the wall. He's going to come down and flip down the speedway. But big trouble early in the event for Chris Stouffer and Mason Mitchum. Caution on the speedway, lap 10 of 125. Sheridan Wade is your leader from Craig Forsyth and Alex Miller. Do want to thank the series sponsors for the Horizon IndyCar Series. We do have the joy of driving, Mark Cohn. You can follow the exploits of Mark Cohn and his racing adventures. Ryan, the Watchman won himself a championship Monday night. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
He most certainly did. Mark Cohn was named the Onyx Racing League Lotus 79 Series champ. He won the California 500 over there. A race that I led the most laps and wound up with a Miller American on the hook. Mark Cohn won the race, won the championship. So if you want to follow him, check out the Joy of Driving. We also have to thank Jim Herrick over at 40 Racewear. The 40 Racewear car of Craig Forsyth does run in second place. We are under caution 10 laps into a scheduled 125. If you like the broadcast, do us a solid, smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1. You can be notified of all future iRacing action. Are we going to see cars come to pit lane? We are. The entire field, save for Matt Wagner, Charles Teed, it appears as though Will Stearns is going to stay out, but the entire rest of the field is going to hit pit lane here, Ryan.
I mean, why not? It's a long race.
You know, it does put them in an interesting situation. They theoretically, at 125 laps, you could theoretically do this in 3 stops, but you would have to get 31 to 32 laps in a run, and that is right on the edge of fuel save. If you stop now, you're going to make the same amount of stops, Ryan Eric King, but you can run that baby full rich, and you might be able to have a shorter stop at the end.
I think that would be the hope of going now.
Now, you do lose some track position. Matty Wagner, Charles Teed, Will Stearns did stay out, so as well as Joseph Morales. So those 4 cars remained on the racetrack. Everybody from Sheridan Wade on back came to pit lane. Mason Mitchum and Chris Stouffer both have the meatball. They do have the fast repair available, but they are awaiting their tows, and they've been under tow for 3 minutes. And that's going to take a while to get those cars from where they had their accident in turn 1 all the way down, all the way around the speedway and back to the pit lane. Stouffer now has arrived and is under service. Mason Mitchum also has taken service, so they may not lose an additional lap. Morales and Will Stearns are going to hit pit road, and I believe that's the stock car ace Ryan O'Donoghue headed for pit road as well. He's going to top off, and I think O'Donoghue is just trying to learn here, Ryan, and I think he wants to be at the back, to be fair.
Yeah, because while I wouldn't say there's a safe place to be at Indianapolis, it's definitely a lot calmer away from the front of the field from what we've seen so far today.
Most certainly is, and there's the clean white wrapper for Ryan O'Donoghue, the number 31 all-white IndyCar. Ryan, funny story about Ryan O'Donoghue. He's got a picture of a red, white, and blue number 69 Indy Alliance racing machine on the wall next to his rig, as a reminder of what not to do. You know where my car was in that picture, Rec?
Airborne?
It was stuck backwards in the Sunoco sign at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Oh God!
You know, you remember the one where the Hyperstar Brendan Lichtenberg put one in the bridge at Dover.
Yep.
It was kind of like that. I somehow got turned backwards, ramped off as somebody, and got up in the Sunoco sign, and it stuck like somebody threw a dart at it. And so that one's been making its rounds. Anyway, Matty Wagner, Charles Teed are going to lead it. Sheridan Wade is the first car that stopped. He is in third. Stouffer and Mitchum are 1 lap down. Now, we do have lucky dogs here, and so if there are additional yellows, you're going to see them get back into contention. The night is not over for Stouffer and Mitchum as the green flag comes back out and racing resumes here at Indianapolis. Lap 12 of 125 complete, working lap 13 as we head off into turn number 1. Do want to thank everybody for joining us. Clindy is in the chat. I wonder if he's getting ready to race the Mexico City race that is going to be on the sister channel. One of the things, Ryan, that's kind of a false... Ooh, Lith Fox in the wall. Lith Fox hit the wall in the turn in the south end, in the south chute, just off of turn number 1. He glanced off of it. He got down onto the warm-up lane. Lith Fox with a wonderful display of driving. He's going to file back out, get back in line. He will not lose the draft. Watch this. This is Lith Fox. He was high in the north end coming off of turn number 3. He came off the same way high in at the exit of turn number 1 and white-walled the tires and just about lost the car. Ryan Eric King, watch this save from on board Lith Fox. Those are some quick hands, brother.
Yeah, especially the awareness to get the car on the exit lane and not, be in a worse scenario, not save the car and then lose control trying to get back on track.
Yeah, it was great heads-up driving by Lith Fox once he hit. And it doesn't appear as though he's got any damage to that car either. Lith Fox continues to chug along, but still way high through turns 1 and 2. He's kicking up the dust on corner exit. He looks like he's running. He looks like he's running in a modified. Looks like he's running in a modified Kyle Larson line up there, or Harry Gant, or Richard Petty, or whomever you'd like to associate with a high line. And now there he goes. He drops low. He's not as bad as he thinks. I don't think that car's got any damage on it, or if it does, it's it's hidden damage, and he just may be okay. We did see a car toward the back, that's Will Stearns, get up, and he white-walled the tires as well. Meanwhile, Wagner and Teed are your leaders. Sheridan Wade sits in third. From a tactical standpoint, if you're Wade and Forsyth, you might want to let Teed and Wagner lead here.
Yeah, let them lead. Try to save some fuel.
Well, fuel is the operative word there. Let you save some fuel. Let them run out. They're going to need some help. They're going to need some help in the form of additional yellow flags if they're going to make it to the end of this race without having to save an enormous amount. Now we don't know what the wheel settings are on Wagner and Teed. The lap times, though, we do know 41.098 for Wagner the last time through. So he's more or less running it flat out. That's only a 10th off of his best lap, and his best lap was set in the draft. So these guys are getting after it up here, Ryan.
Yeah, they're pushing. We are running at a pretty quick click, to be honest.
We most certainly are. The answer to the earlier question, who won the first motor race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Yeah, I would not guess. I would not be able to guess that.
The cost for a ticket was $1. It was 2 laps, 5 miles. Louis Schweitzer was the winner. Louis Schweitzer. Now, the cool thing about Louis Schweitzer is that there is still a trophy that is named for him that is given out every year at the Indianapolis 500. The Louis Schweitzer Chief Mechanic of the Year Award, right? Or Innovations in Engineering, yeah. They give that award to the most innovative team or the winning chief mechanic every year. So there's still a trophy that's distributed. How about that? There are some additional. That was the warm up round as we hit lap 20. Charles Teed dives the inside of Matt Wagner. Sheridan Wade is keeping a lot closer contact than I thought he would. That's going to be hard on his tires. You see how much of a gap Craig Forsyth has in between himself and Wade, just trying to get some clean air, save the tires on his Forsyth Racing entry. You see how closely tucked up Sheridan Wade is, Ryan? That's got to be harder on his machinery to stay there, and I think Craig might be kind of waiting him out.
Yeah, because Craig's in that sweet spot where you still get the toe down the straights, but the dirty air isn't as bad as it could be in the corners.
Yeah, and there you see the distance, and that's what, about a tenth and a half. Well, it's 0.3 of a second from Wade back to Forsyth, but that's what 0.3 of a second looks like at Indianapolis. It is not a whole lot in terms of time, but it's, maybe a couple hundred feet, and that is a ton when it comes to clean air, as Forsyth nearly does what Lith Fox did and walls it going through the south end. Looking out the left eyeball at Craig Forsyth. Temporarily, we're going to swap back because, again, we have a lead change. Charles Teed takes it from Matt Wagner, and Sheridan Wade right on the gearbox of Matty Wagner. Now, remember, we saw how much room Craig Forsyth was giving to Sheridan Wade. This is how close Sheridan Wade is to Wagner and Teed. He is all over the gearbox, especially when they affect that swap. And that is going to have an effect on Sheridan Wade and his handling, his tire wear as time goes on here, Ryan.
Yeah, it won't feel immediate behind the wheel, but it accrues lap after lap, and by the time you get to the end of the run, you're thinking, I got nothing left.
Yeah, and so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Now, the silver lining for Wade is that Teed and Wagner are nearing the end of their runs here. This will be the 25th circuit of the race. Wagner and Teed have not stopped, and so even with a caution, you would think about the most they could go would be 30, 31 laps, plus, they're probably looking at stopping within the next 10 laps or so. And then Wade and the rest of the field are going to be able to go another 10 to 11 laps longer than that. So he's going to have clean air. The problem is that's going to put Craig Forsyth in the catbird seat in second, and then it's up to Craig to decide whether he wants to sit back behind Sheridan Wade and save gas, or if he wants to roll up and lead the race. And we know that the guy in fifth, Alex Miller, Ryan Eric King, we know he's keen to lead races and run up front. So it'll be interesting to see how aggressive Alex Miller gets. Your second trivia question is: this is my favorite trophy in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. Everybody knows of the Borg Warner Trophy, right, that you get when you win the Indianapolis 500. Did you know that there was a trophy that was originally created for a 1909 race that was 300 miles, And then the same trophy was then presented to the car owner of the car that led at 400 miles in the Indianapolis 500. Did you know that, Ryan? They used to give out a trophy to the leader at 400 miles.
Yes, I did know that. I don't know the name of the trophy.
Name of the trophy is the Wheeler-Shebler Trophy. The Wheeler-Shebler Trophy. They started awarding it to the leader at 400 miles in 1914. And it was given to the car owner, not the driver. So it was given to the car owner. And then for the 1916 race, which was run to 300 miles or 500 kilometers due to World War I, the trophy was presented to the leader at lap 100. The original rules stipulated that if the trophy was claimed in 3 consecutive years, then it would it would become the permanent possession of the individual to win it 3 times. Consecutively, Harry Hartz did that in 1930, 1931, and 1932. It was then reacquired by the Speedway Museum in 1956 and is on permanent display there. And that thing, Ryan, is humongous. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah. It makes the Borg Warner look small, which is a feat in of itself.
I mean, that trophy is easily 8 feet tall. I mean, it is massive. Of course, Wheeler-Shebler was the company owned by Frank Wheeler, who was also one of the 4 co-founders of the Speedway. And so there's your bit of trivia as we head toward the first pit stops of the race. Teed and Wagner lead it. They are short fuel here, guys, and they are going to have to stop momentarily. I would anticipate within the next 3 laps or so. Sheridan Wade on back. Everybody else is full of fuel, cock-locked and ready to rock. They should be due in about lap 40, somewhere in there. So Wagner and Teed, they're going to be stopping any time. Wade, Forsyth, Miller on back. They're good for another 10 laps or so. You're watching the Horizon IndyCar Series Season 2 finale on the P1 Broadcasting channel. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1, and be notified of all future iRacing events just like this one. We saw a barn burner of a finish a couple of weeks ago here in Indianapolis in the P1 broadcasted Indy Fixed official top split. And I bet we're about to see something similar here, Ryan.
Yeah, we're still generally in a line. The field has not been blown apart. It is still anyone's race.
It most certainly is. Just waiting for this front pair to pit. Now, to their advantage, when they pit, they're going to come back out about 4 seconds ahead of the leaders, and then their job is to execute, Ryan, that swap draft and try to gain as much ground as they can on Wade, Forsyth, and the rest of this, what will become a 16-car train as Wagner makes the pass under Teed one more time.
And Teed's coming in.
Yeah, Charles Teed does make the stop, and he does not get down on the pit road cleanly.
Ooh.
Teed sliding sideways. He got it slowed down. He got it wound up. He did not speed on pit lane, but Charles Teed, he had himself a moment, Ryan, coming on the pit road. Watch this from his onboard. He's a little hot, locks both fronts up, slides it sideways. Charles Teed back into the fight, but he lost a significant amount of time on that. Now, Matt Wagner is going to come into the pit lane. Wag's a lot more subtle coming down pit road, and that's going to hand the lead over to Craig Forsyth and Sheridan Wade, and Forsyth instantly went to the front of the field.
Oh, Yeah, that is a hot entry you don't want to see here at Indianapolis. Typically, I play it safe. The minute I get out of line, you know, to the left-hand side of the entry line, I just immediately start slowing down. I don't try to slow down all at once.
Now, do want to note, Will Stearns has also stopped, along with Wagner and Teed, and that is Will Stearns up in front of Sheridan Wade and Craig Forsyth. That is not what Wagner and Teed want to see. And Teed, that is not what Wagner and Teed want to see. Wagner and Teed are together, and here they are. They're working through turn number 2. They are right together, and they are going to be swapping. They do not want Will Stearns. They're 4 seconds ahead of this. They do not want Will Stearns in front of Sheridan Wade because that provided a huge draft. Huge draft to the leaders, and that just that kind of negates the advantage that that Wagner and Teed would have hoped to get. And there you see Will Stearns. He's going to be passed now. He's keeping it high. He's going to be passed by Craig Forsyth, but he doesn't. We've got car in the wall hard. Is that
No.
We've got car in the wall down the back, slowing that Stouffer. That's Chris Stouffer one more time, and he is stopped on the racing surface with the meatball. He's going to disconnect, but Chris Stouffer hard in the outside wall. Turn number 2 between turns 1 and 2 down the back. Let's see what's happened to the 40 car. He was all by himself, Ryan.
Just trying to scrub through the footage to see what happened. I think he just went high, just too high on his own.
Well, no. Lith Fox got sideways in front of him. Lith saved it. Chris Stouffer took evasive action and put his car hard into the wall on the exit of turn number 2. And with him already having used his fast repair, Ryan, that's night done for Chris Stouffer.
That's just unfortunate.
Interestingly enough, I've just been logged out of the sim. So, Ryan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okie doke. Well, I've been kicked out of the session, so everybody, please do bear with us. I am going to get this. We're going to get this. We're going to get this situation ship righted here. My sincerest apologies. It's going to take iRacing just a quick moment to get everything squared away and to get me back up and running. And do want to thank everybody for their patience. You've got Murph and you've got the Wreck here live on the P1 Broadcasting Channel. We are watching the Horizon IndyCar Series live from Indianapolis. Ryan, you're still in the session. You still have good connection, right? It didn't boot you, I'm hoping.
Yeah, I'm still in the session. So far, things are still running where we left it. The leaders are trying to chase down the cars that pitted. As it stands, Craig Forsyth has just taken the lead in the turn 1 from Sheridan Wade. And then the next car up the road ahead of them is Jari Brubaker.
Do appreciate everybody's patience with the technical difficulties here. I was summarily removed from the session. Did not lose internet connection. It wasn't a connection fault, Ryan. Something just happened, and something just caused me to lose the session. If something happens, Ryan Eric King will be able to describe it for you. As the producer, I am frantically trying to get back into the session here. Do appreciate
things are still relatively calm as we come to the start of lap 43. Forsyth and Wade are swapping back and forth in the lead as Alex Miller sits in third behind them.
Do want to thank everybody for your patience. I'm waiting on the sim to load back in. While we do that, Ryan, I'll hit you with this one. So we know that Louis Schweitzer won the first race held at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Who has won the most races on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? And you can the most overall race wins, and this could be on the oval, it could be the road course, the dirt track, whatever configuration. But who has the most race wins at Indianapolis?
My gut feeling wants to say it's Michael Schumacher.
That would be incorrect. You're going to have to dig deep for this one. It's just like everybody would say, everybody would answer with Ray Haroon to the first winner at Indianapolis, when in reality that honor belongs to Louis Schweitzer. I am back into
34 speed.
I am back into the session. And that was some kind of a fault with the service, Ryan, because it turned my It turned my settings wonky. So thank you so much, everybody, for your patience. There are live pictures, and we are back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The virtual gremlins have struck. It's going to take me a second to get everything going again in terms of timing and scoring and things of that nature. But we are back. And we are live, Ryan. We're looking at Alex Miller as he navigates the Indianapolis Motor Speedway behind Lith Fox and Yari Brubaker. Pit stop's underway. There comes Frisky Frankie in behind Miller, and Ryan O'Donoghue makes his pit stop. Now you're looking at Joseph Morales as he runs along in the 60.
Where the leaders come out of pit road.
There we go. Alex Miller currently has the lead. He's coming off of pit road, and here comes Forsyth, Wagner, Sheridan Wade, and Charles Teed, and they are going to flash by him in a heartbeat. That's going to put Alex Miller at the end of that train. He is going to be fifth. Momentarily, Gary Lovern is going to go, well, he was fourth momentarily. He's going to go by into fifth. So Matt Wagner leads it from Craig Forsyth, Charles Teed. Gary Lovern is now fourth. Alex Miller is in fifth. These front six have broken away from the rest of the field. So Forsyth, Wagner, Teed, Lovren, Miller, Hugo Gallas is 6th. Sheridan Wade is a lap down, and Ryan, that tells me, even though he's in that pack and he's a lap down, I bet you a shiny new dime, he got a speeding ticket on pit road.
Yeah, that certainly has to be the case. He had to come back in to serve the penalty.
Yeah, that would put you a lap down, and my goodness sakes, up near the wall went Lith Fox one more time. Lith Fox having all kinds of struggles. There he is. He's behind Andrew Surwack, Yari Brubaker, and Hugo Gallas. So this is the second group. It's being led by Hugo Gallas, and then Yari Brubaker and Surwack behind him. Lith Fox, you've got Frisky Frankie Wynn in 10th, and then there's a bit of a gap back to Morales, Marcamini, and Stearns. What I'm noticing about this group, though, Ryan, is they are not as organized as the leaders.
No, and that might cost them.
You know, it most certainly might. Do want to thank everybody for your patience with the broadcast. We're going to jump back up to the leader. Somehow I was removed from the session, and so had to jump back in. We are at lap 50 of 125 here in the Horizon IndyCar Series. If you like the stream, do us a solid. Make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the P1 Broadcasting channel, and be notified of all future iRacing action. We've got dueling streams tonight. Gary Godso is in the second broadcast with our good friend Steven Larkamp, and they are showing the Formula Indy Series live from Mexico City. Tomorrow, it is the Indy Pro qualifiers from Laguna Seca. That'll be Gary Godso, Luca Tedesco, and LGN with you at 8 o'clock. And then we're getting into Hoosier 500 time, Ryan. That's going to be right here in Indianapolis, and that's a big one. 100 some odd entries for 33 starting spots at Indianapolis. That's going to be a challenge just to make that race.
I can only imagine.
Not only that, but the monkey wrench is they're going to introduce the hybrids on these cars. Remember, between qualifications and the race for the Hoosier 500 is a new build. And so they're going to get the hybrids on these cars for the race. They won't have them for qualifying, but they'll have them for the race. How about that?
Oh, I can only imagine the gamesmanship that's going to go into how to utilize the hybrid during the race.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be, it's not just gamesmanship. I'm thinking about the setup builders, the Adam Blockers, the Brandon Tranos, the Seb Alexanders, Jesper Ormans, Robert Malechka out there that are trying to come up with a setup for that thing, because we have no idea how it's going to react with the car. The answer, by the way, to the question, who has won the most races at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
I assume, let me get one more try. I assume it has to be a Brickyard 400 winner.
It is not.
It is not a Brickyard 400 winner. Oh.
It is not. The answer is Johnny Aiken.
Johnny Aiken.
He won 15 total races at Indianapolis as a driver. He made 41 starts, which is also a record. He never won the 500 as a driver, of course, but he was the team manager for Joe Dawson in 1912 and Jules Gu in 1913. So there you go. Johnny Aiken, the winner of the most races held at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Lith Fox has managed to help drag his group toward the front of the field, and he is working on Andrew Surwack. He got by Yari Brubaker, and he is now in 8th. So good move from Lith Fox there. We are now back in one pack as Fox continues to try to work the bottom on Andrew Surwack. And Ryan, that can be difficult to make that bottom work, because you may get position on a guy in a corner, but the draft is just going to suck him right back by you going back down the next straightaway.
Yeah, you really have to be smart in finishing those kinds of passes.
You do know, here comes the outside. He's going to make that move I was talking about earlier, Ryan. He gets there. That time he got there. See, he was able to get his left front onto the right rear of Surwack and get the outside call from the spotter. And if you're able to draw even there, you're going to complete that move in the next set of corners because you've got the draft going down the straightaway. Now, Hugo Galez moves up to kind of shut that off from Lith Fox, but that was a dandy of a move from Lith, and that's how you're going to have to move toward the front here, Ryan. You cannot just stay in line and be on the bottom and expect to move forward. You're going to have to go to the top, and there he goes again.
Yeah, Lith Fox is moving.
He gets past Hugo Galez, so now Lith Fox is worth the price of admission here. He has gone to the high side around Surwack, around Galez. He now pulls up on the back of Alex Miller, and this is what it looks like from on board Lith Fox as he continues the charge up through the field. Lith Fox is now 6th, and he is looking at 5th. Now, see, he got around those two cars, Ryan. He got around Surwack. He got around Galez. He has not attempted to run that high side maneuver on. He has not attempted to run that high side maneuver on Alex Miller as yet. And included in the specter of all this are Charles Teed and Matt Wagner. They're coming up on their second pit stop here fairly shortly, Ryan. You can see with the telemetry the differential in speed in the draft. Lith Fox is trying to line up Alex Miller one more time. Teed and Wagner are your two leaders. They're continuing to swap at the front. Craig Forsyth is a very loyal third. He's got Gary Lovern behind him. And then you see the teal and orange car. That is Sheridan Wade. He got a speeding ticket earlier. Sheridan Wade is a lap off the pace and is not a part of this fight. He is one lap down and holding the lucky dog spot. The only other car one lap down is Mason Mitchum. He is at the tail end of this line. Hugo Galez runs along behind Lith Fox. Alex Miller, Lith Fox, and Hugo Galez are right together. And then you've got Andrew Surwack in the Gatorade machine, Yari Brubaker in the familiar black trimmed with purple and gold, and Frisky Frankie Wynn rounding out your top 10. Matthias Marcamini is 11th. And there's Marcamini. We haven't talked much about him. Joseph Morales is in the red and black number 60. You've got the lap machine of Mason Mitchum mixed in there. Ryan O'Donohue continues to run out here. He is 14th. He's got Nate Fields with him, and those two are swapping, but they are 10 seconds off the lead and some 7 seconds away from the nearest draft, and they are not catching the cars in front of them, even though they're swapping. These two really doing about 41.3. The cars in the draft ahead of them, they're all in the 41.1 and 41.2 second bracket. You are watching the P1 Broadcasting Channel's coverage of the Horizon IndyCar Series. You've got Mark Murphy, Ryan Eric King with you, and Rec. We've got pit stops. Wagner and Teed on pit lane.
Yeah, the leaders are in.
They are now no dramas this time from Charles Teed getting onto the pit lane. They both managed to get in here, and they managed to get slowed down, and they managed to do it in formation, and that is huge because that means they'll come out together and they'll be able to draft together around this course and attempt to break that draft.
Yeah, to break the draft and stay safe from going a lap down.
And that's the main thing. Again, they should come out when it's all said and done. They should come out about 5 seconds ahead of Craig Forsyth. And there they are. They're entering turn 3, Forsyth, down the middle of the backstretch. So they've done that. They've come out outside the draft envelope of Craig Forsyth. They do not want Forsyth to be able to draft off of them. That would mean game over, Ryan. If the lead pack was able to draft up to them, that would put them 5 seconds down when it came to show and tell time here in Indianapolis. The question is, where is Clindy? I believe that Clindy is in the Formula Indy race this evening. He's been running that full time as an amateur. His road course skills are equal to mine, which is poor. And so Clindy is off competing on the road course this evening over on the sister broadcast. If you were looking for him, Will Stearns comes out of the pit lane. He is 1 lap down, as is Sheridan Wade and Mason Mitchum. Forsyth leads it, and I would guess that we're going to see Craig here anywhere between about lap 70 and 75. Wouldn't you think, Ryan?
Yeah, that seems to be right for when he made his previous stop.
Most certainly does, and we are just past halfway. And so in the 125 lapper here in the Horizon IndyCar Series. Do want to thank our sponsors, The Joy of Driving. You can head on over there and check out the sim racing exploits of the Watchman, Mark Cohn. And also, we would like to thank 40 Racewear for their support of really all things iRacing. Jim Herrick does a ton to support different leagues, different broadcasters. And so do want to toss in a thanks to Jim Herrick over at 4D. We're watching his driver, Craig Forsyth, lead the Votive Racing League entry of Gary Lovern. Alex Miller has moved into third, and Lith Fox is now fourth. Hugo Gallas is fifth, and there's Gallas. They do have some lap cars up here, though. The orange and teal machine, that is Sheridan Wade. He is 1 lap down, as is the red, white, and black car of Will Stearns. That is the number 306 of Will Stearns. I am surprised at Forsyth wanting to lead this, Ryan. Usually you don't see him lead these races. You see him following and saving the fuel. This might be the first time I've watched or raced against Craig in a situation where he has the car turned all the way up and he is ready. He's going for the front, and he's going for it constantly.
Yeah, he really must be confident about his chances today.
Most certainly so. There goes Forsyth. Well, they had that early pit stop, remember. These cars all stopped at lap 10 under the first yellow, if you recall. And that means they're going to be able to go full rich, full burn toward the end. And if you don't have to save fuel, I guess you might as well lead the thing, right?
Yeah, you might as well lead. You might as well push the pace, make everyone else try to keep up with you.
That is 100% true. Do want to point out that Matty Wagner and Charles Teed are about a tenth quicker than the leaders at this point. Also, Yari Brubaker has pulled his car down pit lane, so this group is now starting its stops at lap 68, working lap 69 of 125 scheduled at Indianapolis. Craig Forsyth, your leader. Gary Lovern, Alex Miller, Lith Fox, Andrew Surwack are the top 5. Matty Wagner, Charles Teed, they are on an alternate strategy. They did not stop early in the race, and they are playing the hare to the tortoise of Forsythe, Lovern, and Alex Miller, among others. As we get toward this next pit stop, I'm going to ask Ryan King a question about engines at Indianapolis. Who is the all-time winningest engine builder at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? All-time winningest engine at Indianapolis.
Instinct says Offenhauser. It's
that is one exhibit at the museum that I wish they still had, and I love the renovation that they've done in the new. Have you been in the new museum, Ryan?
No, I've yet to visit the new museum.
I'll tell you what, you need to get Jalopnik to send you out here, and I will take you on a personalized tour of the joint. I do have a membership in the museum, but that's one of the things that they do not have in the new museum that they had in the old one, and I wish that they still did, is they had a deconstructed Offenhauser engine. And you could take it apart and take it apart and laid out in such a way that you could, fit the pistons in the cylinders and hook up connecting rods. It was an interesting thing to play with. And they called it the Offenhauser Petting Zoo, and I so very wish they would bring that back. That was a lot of fun to mess with, and the little kids that would play with it got a kick out of it. Now they've got the thing where you can change the tire and hook up a fuel hose and simulate a pit stop and all that. They've got simulators in there. I have no idea who's at the top of the board in the simulators at the Speedway. I can tell you who's second. But I wish they would bring back the Offenhauser Petting Zoo. 27 times an Offenhauser won the Indianapolis 500. That's a lot, Ryan. That's 20.
Yeah, that's a lot considering that they didn't win after the 1970s.
Yeah, we haven't seen one since the 70s. They haven't been there in 50 years, and they've still won what amounts to 20% of the Indianapolis 500s. And if you consider that the Offie was designed by Harry Miller, and if you wanted, you could consider the Miller engine cars the forerunners of the Offenhausers. There's more than 30 wins in that family tree. It might be close to. So
that'd be like what close to 40, and that's impressive considering that we've had runs in recent years where there's been a spec engine, there's been a duopoly, yet Honda and Chevy have not come anywhere close to that total.
No, and look, I'm a big proponent. I wish they would do away with the manufacturer rule and just let. I mean, if manufacturers want to participate, by all means, but let Cosworth, American Racing Engines, let some of these let Zytec, let them just build a motor, right? You want to bring costs down, just eliminate the manufacturer rule. Let private engine builders show up again. And I bet you'd see some increases in speed and power. Forsythe, Surwack, and Morales have all hit pit lane, and that turns the lead over to Gary Lovern. Remember, the Sheridan Wade car in the middle is one lap down. Alex Miller, Lith Fox now the top three, and we've got 50 laps to go. 91 cubic inches on that straight eight, by the way, Rick. 91, the Jewel Miller. It is a beautiful car if you ever get a chance to see it right. Now, Sheridan Wade is going to dive to the inside of Gary Lovern, and what Wade wants right here, and also what Will Stearns wants, is a caution to happen right now. Because if that did happen, Sheridan Wade would get his lap back. Will Stearns would get the lucky dog. Mason Mitchum and Nate Fields, unfortunately, would be frozen out of that deal. But also, Lovern and company are going to have to pit really any time, aren't they, Ryan?
Yeah, they're going to have to come in soon. And like you said, it'd be ideal to get the caution now, but if it doesn't, they'll just run the tanks dry and then pit and hopefully, cycle their way back to the front by the end of the next stint.
Well, and here's the other part of this. So they've got Joseph Morales now nearly in the draft window, and so if you're Lovern and company, you may want to stay out as long as possible, because I believe that they are getting a tow now off of Joseph Morales and Andrew Serwak. So they're literally, imagine it like a ladder, folks. If you've got the draft from a car in front of you, you're literally like climbing a ladder toward the car in front of you. And that is helping these cars. That is, by the way, much to the detriment of Matt Wagner and Charles Teed, who stopped earlier. They did not make the pit stop at lap 10. Those cars do not want to see anybody around these leaders because it destroys their chance of catching them, Ryan.
Yeah, it destroys their chance of catching them because, the lap car just it's an artificial speed boost. Like the natural sort of rubber band effect you get at Indianapolis is that the leader normally does not have anyone to tow off of.
Gary Lovern is going to come to pit lane. It is worth noting that this draft of cars has backed down the pace quite a bit. The last lap through for Gary Lovern was a 41.6. Sheridan Wade leading that pack at a 41.3. Craig Forsyth, Matt Wagner, Charles Teed, they're all running around 41 flat right now. Those cars are absolutely after it. There you see Forsyth in the back. He's got Wagner and Teed in front of him. Those guys are doing the work, and Forsyth has really got to be in the catbird seat here, Ryan, because he's got 3 seconds over his nearest pursuers, and to top that all off, Forsyth has 10 laps of fuel at least in hand over these cars. Sheridan Wade has pulled onto the pit lane. Ryan O'Donoghue is on pit road with a meatball, and that would tell me that he had trouble getting onto the pit lane. Let's see what we've had happen to Ryan O'Donoghue here. He's missing some parts, Ryan Eric King.
Oof.
You know what he did?
Oh,
He lit the tires up coming out of his pit box and smacked the outside wall on the pit road.
Oh, man, just like Scott Dixon.
Yes, he did. Watch here. It's so easy to do. If you drop the, you don't get the bite point right on the clutch, those rear tires go up in smoke. And if you've got that car pointed, if you've got that wheel pointed left, the car's going to go where the wheel's pointed, Ryan, and that thing shot straight into the wall. A tough break for Ryan O'Donoghue. He's got a front wing back on it, and he is back out. But 2 laps down, Frankie Wynn is now the only car, as Alex Miller has hit pit lane. Frisky Frankie is the only machine still on the speedway. 82 of 125 are in the books, and Ryan, he can't make it home from here. But I guess the strategy from Frisky Frankie is, look, maybe he can steal one with a splash and go at the end.
Yeah, just eke out, every lap you can and just shorten the last stint. And he's called over the radio. He's coming in this lap. So he got one more lap on the rest of the field.
Well, he's been out for 35 laps. So Frisky Frankie, if he's coming in now, he has got to be on fumes. That's going to turn the lead over to this trio, Wagner, Teed, and Forsyth. And they have a handsome lead over Alex Miller and company. Miller came off a pit road, and I don't believe Alex Miller is going to slot in to the draft window. There you are on board, and there you see the leading 3. You can see him, but he is 3 seconds adrift of those 3 cars in front of him, Ryan. Frank Wynn has come back out as well. Do want to cover that there. He is on the warm-up lane. He is going to slot behind Alex Miller. So he's going to be at the head of the line of the second group. Surwack is going to dive to the inside in the 3. And that should bring Lovern along with him as Wynn tries to get back up to speed. But that has got to be the strategy, Ryan, for Frisky Frankie. He can make it to probably lap 115. Come in and get what, 3 gallons of fuel and be good for the end. And that's only like a 2-second pit stop.
Yeah, pretty much it's just going to be effectively the tire change.
Well, would you even get tires if you had 10 to go and you just needed 3-4 gallons maybe? I wouldn't take tires. It's a 2-second pit stop. It's literally hook up. You know, the guy behind the pit box. The guy on the pit box hits the fueler in the back with a stick. They unplug and send you off. And that is something that's always amazed me. These cars cost what, $750,000, Ryan, just in parts and pieces. Yeah. Not to mention the labor of love that goes into them to prepare a special car for this one event, right? Every team has a special Indianapolis car, right? And so those things are basically, you know, you wonder what an IndyCar team does in the offseason. They rub on their Indianapolis car for 6 months, more or less, right?
Yeah, to shape the bodywork just right.
You know, making sure that everything is perfect, is fit perfectly, ready to go. And this race often comes down to one guy hitting another guy on the back with a stick. But do you know who originated that, Ryan? Where that came from?
No.
Oh, come now. You're gonna roll your eyes when you hear this. That was the technique that the Pat Patrick team used in 1982. If you recall, Rick Mears got tires on his final pit stop. Gordon Johncock opted for a timed stop, fuel only, and that was the signal for. And that's how that started. That was the signal for the fueler to unplug. Pat Patrick hit the gas man on the back with a yardstick.
Now, I assumed it would have been a broomstick. I did not know they shelled out the cash for the yardstick.
I believe it was a yard. It was either a broomstick or a yardstick. I'm fairly certain it was a yardstick. Either way, that's where that whole thing started. Was the time pit stop from Pat Patrick that got Gordon Johncock out with Mears. And remember, Mears took too much fuel because he was taking tires. It caused an imbalance in the car, and Mears had the faster car, but Johncock had the lead, and it was on. He got too much fuel, Rick. He had too much fuel, and it caused the car to massively understeer. Meanwhile, Forsythe, Teed, Wagner are your leaders, and they are 2.2 seconds clear of this group. Miller, Surwack, Wynn, Fox, Lovern, Brubaker, and Marcamini are involved here. Hugo Galez is in this draft, as is Joseph Morales. So positions 5 through 12 are here. Will Stearns is by himself. There's Grandpa in 13th. Nate Fields motors along in 14th. He is likewise by himself. Sheridan Wade, 1 lap down. He is involved in the second group now. 1 lap in arrears. Mason Mitchum is 16th. He is also a lap down. And Ryan O'Donoghue continues to cruise. He is also 1 lap down after that mistake leaving his pit box. And in danger of going 2 down. He's about 10 seconds ahead of the leading trio. And here we are, Ryan, coming to get 89 of 125. Now, we know that Teed and Wagner are going to have to stop again. They are going to have to take full stops. We also know that everybody else in this field is going to have to stop again to some varying degree. How much they have to stop for and what they do when they stop remains to be seen. We would anticipate Teed and Wagner are going to come in within the next 5 laps or so.
Yeah, within the next 5 laps or so, because that's as long as their stint length would permit.
Yes, indeed. Ryan O'Donoghue has brought his machine back onto the pit lane. That is the plain white wrapper. You see it going at an agonizingly slow 60 miles an hour. So I drove the Miller American a couple of nights ago, Ryan. Danny Sullivan, obviously the spin and win in 1985 in the Miller American. When he spun and came to the pits, did he change tires?
No, he did not.
He most certainly did not. And that's something that always amazed me. You see the pictures of Danny Sullivan come to pit lane. They roll the car through the bleach, right? And they inspect the tires, but they do not change them. Sullivan went back out and, of course, famously passed Mario Andretti. You could do that in those days of bias ply tires because they didn't flat spot. Very difficult.
Yeah, they had a lot more give to them.
Very, very difficult to flat spot a bias ply tire. The compound was also more or less equal to granite. They were extremely hard. They used to not change tires very much at all in those times. And I can recall 500-mile races where they didn't change the left front at all. Charles Teed, Matt Wagner, and Andrew Surwack are all coming to pit lane this time. Teed, a little bit more conservative this time. He still smokes the brakes coming in. Wagner has to move to his outside. So these three coming to get their final service, and that's going to turn the lead over to Craig Forsyth. Alex Miller is now within the draft envelope of Forsyth, as are the Mirai cars of Frank Wynn and Lith Fox. Frisky Frankie, I'm telling you, might be in a pretty good spot here, Ryan, because he's only going to have to get a splash at the end.
Yeah, it's a really comfy position because not only is your stop going to be shorter, you're going to be out longer than everyone else, meaning that there could be a caution during the pit cycle that could benefit you.
It could. Now, if there was a caution that would fall here, it would be to the benefit of Wagner, Surwack, and Teed. Although Teed is on the pit road under penalty. Charles Teed too fast entering the pit lane. And so it's now just going to be Wags and Surwack, and there they are. And they have caught the lap car of Ryan O'Donoghue. So remember that ladder effect, the rubber band, it's helping Surwack and Wagner at the moment. Alex Miller has gone to the lead. Forsyth now second. Wynn and Fox third and fourth. I'm telling you, Ryan, I have a gut feeling this thing is going to come down to what Frankie Wynn does on his final stop.
Yeah, he's certainly... He might not be leading the race, but he is the de facto favorite right now.
Right, like, and he's only a lap clear of Miller. They're 2 laps. He's got 2 laps in the bag over teammate Lith Fox. 4 laps over Gary Lovern, and then 8 laps on Craig Forsyth. And Forsyth is the king of saving fuel. Now, I would imagine that Craig Forsyth has this doped out. He's going to come in with about 20 laps to go. He's going to get 12.5 gallons of fuel or whatever the tire change is. He's going to get 4 fresh Firehawks. He's going to turn that car into a rocket, and he's going to go back out. If my Ball State math has not failed me, Frankie Wynn can go to at least lap 113, and he might be able to go as far as 115 or 116. And if he does that, he's only going to need about 3 gallons to finish this thing. And that's going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, because with just basically a splash, he'll come out miles ahead of the train. He won't have to worry about, people towing up from behind him.
No, because you would effectively gain the minimum pit stop here in these cars is about 8 seconds, eight and a half seconds. So that could be as potentially as much as a 5-second advantage. Now the tricky part for Frisky Frankie and Lith, should they choose to execute such a strategy, is this: it's not getting on pit road, it's not getting in your box, it's getting out on that warm-up lane with hot tires. That thing is very slick, it's very dirty in the sim. It is really easy on hot tires to loop yourself around. Trying to get out on worn hot tires, especially at the end of a race. We are just about to hit the century mark here at Indianapolis, coming to get 100 of 125 in the Horizon IndyCar Series finale. It's Murph, it's Ryan Eric King, live on the P1 Broadcasting Network. Do want to thank everybody for joining in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1. Get your notification of all future iRacing events just like this one. The Formula Indy Series is live on the sister stream. They are at Mexico City tonight. Tomorrow we'll have the second split of the penultimate round of the IndyCar Pro Qualifier Series. That's going to be from Laguna Seca. Of course, we do have the past, present, and future of IndyCar on Monday nights. Right now, it's just the present and future. The Onyx Racing League is wrapped up, but there will be as many as 3 broadcasts: the Indy Open official top split, the Indy Next top split, and the ISRA series will all happen on Monday night. Tuesday, it's the flagship. It's the Indy Oval Series, live at 8:15 or 7:15 Eastern Standard at the moment, and then we're back for the Indy Next Oval Series at 8:30. So a lot of racing here on P1. I know it's the off season for leagues. I know the AMA is not on currently. They are going to come back. By the way, Kendall Paul and that group have re-upped, and so they're gonna come back. They will be coming back in February. So stay tuned for that. We have a load of coverage for everybody for the Hoosier 500, including practice sessions for that event. Going to be a good time. Going to be a good time, Rec.
Yeah, a lot of racing to keep you warm this winter.
That's right. And if you don't think so, and somebody in the Discord and somebody in the IndyCar community Discord, as Craig Forsyth comes into the pit lane, posted a you've got the thing in Race Labs where you can link your Apple Watch to Race Labs and they'll give you your biometrics.
Yeah.
If you think that this doesn't get physical, he reported his heart rate at 140 beats a minute under caution, and that can be kind of an interesting trivia question, an interesting point of trivia as Alex Miller goes underneath Ryan O'Donoghue, who's going to be followed by Frisky Frankie and Lith Fox. Is that and Miller's going to pit? That's going to put Frankie Wynn and Lith in the lead, and probably the most welcome sign that they've seen in a while. They've got cars that are within reach of the draft. Joseph Morales is 39.1 seconds off the lead. It's a 40.765 lap for Frisky Frankie the last time through. He is within the draft envelope of those cars in front. Marcamini, black flag, too fast on exit.
And unexpectedly,
here they come. Here come the Mirai cars.
Now,
yeah, here they come. Big lockup from Lith Fox trying to get onto pit road. So they're coming in with 20 laps to go. They are not going to need much fuel, but I think those guys want tires, Ryan.
Yeah.
Up on the
most
jack.
likely.
Yeah, up on the jack goes Frisky Frankie. There goes Lith Fox. And so that leaves the long runners, the votive cars. You've got Sheridan Wade, who is not a factor in the battle for the lead. Gary Lovern, Hugo Galez, and Lovern's going to peel away. That's going to leave Hugo Galez in the lead all by his lonesome. And you've got Mason Mitchum back there. Mitchum is a lap down. He is the first car one lap down, and so he would love to see a caution, but he doesn't want to see that caution happen until Sheridan Wade slingshots back past Hugo Galez, who is blinking ferociously at the front of this field. No speeding tickets for either Mirai car, so we're in great shape on those guys. Lith incredibly close. You could tell, but Hugo Galez strobing in front of the field, Ryan, or strobing in front of Sheridan Wade, Ryan.
Yeah, that is probably not a comforting sight to the drivers behind Hugo.
He disappeared and then he reappeared on pit lane. So now that is going to turn the lead, or it should theoretically turn the lead back over to this man, Craig Forsyth, who is in a battle with Alex Miller. They've got Lith Fox and Frisky Frankie right there behind him. The car that is the caboose on this train is Matthias Marcamini. Marcamini, too fast exiting. He served the penalty. He is one lap down. Ryan O'Donohue, 2 laps down. Teed and Stouffer have retired from the event. Barring a caution, though, the winner is going to come from one of these 4 cars, and they're going to spend the next 18 laps trying to sort that out.
I assume it is going to be a no-holds-barred bout for this win tonight.
It is indeed. I mentioned the Speedway Museum earlier, and I mentioned that there are sims there. We're not going to talk about who has the fastest lap in a simulator at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but do you know who is the second fastest? The second fastest, Ryan Eric King.
Second fastest. Are they an IndyCar Series driver?
They are not. They are a regular in the IndyCar iRacing community. Second quick, 0.002 off the top of the leaderboard.
Is it Robert Malechka?
It is not.
Is it you?
It is not me. I was present when it happened. I'll give you that hint.
Oh, man.
Jesper Orman.
Jesper has it? Damn.
Jesper has the second fastest lap on the way. And so his lap and the fastest lap are like a 10th and a half clear of everybody else. And so those laps are going to be up there for a very long time. Miller and Forsyth are really just kind of, this is more or less logging laps and status quo now, Ryan. The 2 Mirai cars, not really interested in making a move unless there's a huge mistake. Everybody's just kind of waiting. It's a waiting game now until you get to about 5 laps to go. And when you get to 5 to go, it's show and tell time. It's worth noting Gary Lovern has attached himself to the back of this deal, as has Hugo Galez. So there are 6 cars that are going to be in this with a fight. Matt Wagner, 4 seconds back in 7th, and he's leading the second group that includes Brubaker, Surawak, Morales, Sheridan Wade, Mason Mitchum, and Nate Fields. Nate Fields and Will Stearns are kind of all by their lonesome. They are 13th and 14th. Marcamini is attached to the lead group, but he is a lap down after a penalty. But would you agree, Ryan, that we're just kind of
feeling each other out, seeing what we can do when the time actually does arrive to make a move.
Yeah, I mean, let's jump on board with Lith Fox, and kind of watch some telemetry and see. You can tell he's not interested in making a move. You see that big lift there, Ryan?
definitely making sure that when the time comes, you have the tires to do so. You don't have to worry about fuel anymore. You know you can make it to the end.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly right. Save your stuff. The nice thing about this short run to the end is that really it's about the ideal distance. Even for Forsythe, who is longest on this, he's been out 9 laps. He's only got to do 22. The tires really don't start to fall away hard until they've got 25 laps or so on them, right at the end of that run. And so everybody's going to be good and gripped up here for the end. They were on light fuel, which is what this car loves. It loves to have new tires and about half a tank of gas, and that's what they've all just about got. So we're not going to have any issues with tires. We're not going to have any issue with fuel. There's not going to be a deg situation happening. It's going to be a straight up fight as Alex Miller disappears in front of Lith Fox. Now the two Mirai cars are racing each other, Ryan. Frisky Frankie, he gets by Lith. That's going to demote Fox to 4th. Put Frisky Frankie in the 3rd. So a little bit of Mirai action going on for the bottom step of the podium.
I don't want to call papaya rules here, but do you think it was a planned swap?
I don't know if you would. I don't know. The only reason you would plan a swap like that is Lovren goes dangerously low through turn 3. The only reason you would plan a swap like that, if your teammates, and I'm assuming they're working together in Discord and so forth, the only reason you would plan a swap like that is if you were, the guy in 3rd was wanting a ride and the guy behind said, no, I want to go race. And you see there, they moved back. So I don't, maybe there is some of that, right? Maybe Frankie said, look, I want to go, can you let me have a crack at the lead? And Lith obliged him. But now Lith Fox, he's going to make the move underneath Craig Forsythe. Fox is going to try to split Forsythe out of one of those top 2 positions, which he's occupied more or less the entire race, and he's going to get it, Ryan.
I think we saw, and he's going to head to the lead now.
Yeah, Lith Fox has decided to put the hammer down. He drops underneath Alex Miller, and he's going to go to the lead. Miller slices back down to the bottom, shuts off all the air to Frankie Wynn. Frisky Frankie is going to have to lift out of it and back down from Craig Forsythe. So Wynn is now 4th. Lith Fox is your leader. They start the Dragon with 9 laps to go, Ryan.
Ooh, briefly 3 wide here.
They almost went 3 wide at exit.
Rules.
Yeah.
Forget papaya rules. I think we saw a bit of shake and bake.
Yeah. Coming to get 9 to go, and now the fight has started in earnest. Contact!
Oh, everyone holds on. Everyone holds on.
I don't see any damage on I don't see any damage on Forsythe. Both the front wings are still attached. But my goodness sakes, that could have been bad. As the snake continues. On board with Frisky Frankie as he goes to the lead.
They got a bit close to the wall there in the short shoot.
I'll tell you what's close. They were 3 wide for 3rd there. Lith Fox is going to hold on. Craig Forsythe 4th. Move Gary Lover into 5th. I no longer see Alex Miller anywhere on the screen, Ryan. No, he's leading. Okay, there he is.
Yeah,
My apologies.
Yeah, Miller's leading.
Miller's leading. The good news is in that contact with Lith Fox and Craig Forsythe, thankfully there was no damage. It appears as though everybody got away with that. Alex Miller, your leader. Wynn and Fox 2nd and 3rd. Forsythe is 4th. And this is as far down the order as Forsythe has been. And he looks like he's building a huge run up toward that top side, Ryan. Alex Miller in the wall.
It's in the wall. He's able to pull it off, but he loses a position.
Yeah, now the two Mirai cars are 1 and 2. You've got Frisky Frankie in the lead. Lith Fox is second. Craig Forsyth is going to move to the bottom of Alex Miller, and that's immediately shut off by Lith Fox down to the bottom. Alex Miller way high through 3 and 4. He's going to grab a piece of that wall again if he's not careful, but he is all the way to the top of the speedway, and now Forsyth is going to get a break because Lith Fox moves down. Now Miller up to the top. We're going to go 3 wide and a 1. Now remember, Ryan, if you're thinking about how to win this race, remember it was Caleb Brashear from 3rd that won that big Indy Oval Series official race here a couple of weeks ago. He won that race from 3rd. He was 3rd coming off of turn number 4 and shot right through the middle, Ryan.
Yeah, but we're coming to 5 to go, and we still got a lot of distance left.
We most certainly do. They're 3 wide going into turn number 1 one more time. Alex Miller on the bottom. The Mirai cars on top. Forsyth is in 4th. Best seat in the house, Ryan Eric King, has to belong to this man, Gary Lovern. Have a look at this. Lovern to the bottom. He's going to get by Frisky Frankie. Frankie Wynn went from the lead back to 5th in 2 corners. Alex Miller now is following Craig Forsyth. You've got Lith Fox up at the top. It's almost too much to describe it, Ryan. There's so much happening at once, and Alex Miller disappears.
Yeah, it is certainly a gaggle of cars fighting and jockeying for the lead.
It is a flock, a fleet, a gaggle. There have to be other words that we can use to describe that. Anyway, Lith Fox on the top, Forsyth on the bottom. Now, do you want to be on the bottom or you want to be on the top, Ryan? Coming to get the checkers here.
Well, probably on top. I want to have the control of being on the outside. Just a chance to pinch the guy on the inside down. Force them to lift.
3 laps to go. We are less than a qualifying run. 7.5 miles to pay dirt. Of course, it was Tony Kanaan who won his Indianapolis 500. Caution flew on this lap for Tony Kanaan to win that race. It was Dario Franchitti that smacked the wall and turned in the south end. Tony Kanaan came back around to win this race. Remember, if caution happens here, the race is over.
Yeah, there's not enough time left to run under caution, and we're not going to throw a red flag.
We are not. Here's Craig Forsyth, 5 miles to go, 2 laps at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Through turns 1 and 2, Alex Miller back to the lead, Lith Fox second. On board Craig Forsyth from 3rd. He's got Gary Lovern and Hugo Gallows behind him. The 2 Votive Racing League machines, whether or not they finish any higher than 4th or 5th, this has been a great run for those 2 cars. As you see, Lovern look to the outside of Forsyth. Forsyth is going to try to drop to the bottom of Alex Miller. The Dragon begins in earnest now. White flag in the hands of Barney. 2.5 miles. Who is going to win the Horizon IndyCar Series Season 2 finale? Netcode contact. Alex Miller hard into the wall. Contact with Forsyth. Forsyth is forgiven. Lith Fox has a huge lead going down the backstretch. There is no yellow.
We're still green. It should be Lift's race as long as Fox can get around the last 2 corners.
The VRL cars split Craig Forsyth, and Forsyth likely has damage. Lith Fox is going to come off a turn number 4. He's got 0.7 of a second in hand. I don't believe that there is any way those other cars behind him can catch him. If it was 1 lap longer, it'd be a different story, but Lith Fox is going to cross the start-finish line. He is going to win the Horizon IndyCar Series finale at Indianapolis. Hugo Gallows, Gary Lovern come home 2nd and 3rd. Frisky Frankie and Craig Forsyth round out the top 5.
Wow. Yeah, in the closing stage of that race, we talked about 4 drivers who had a chance to win this one, but only one of them finished on the podium.
See everybody else coming through. The only car that has not yet been flagged off of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he will arrive very shortly, is Matt Wagner, and I believe he might be Ryan out of fuel. And so we've got, yeah, there he is. He crossed the start finish line dead stick, Ryan. What a tough break for Alex Miller. And let's go back and watch what happens here. This is the set of maneuvers here at the white flag that caused that had the incident. And watch how much net code there is between Lith Fox and Alex Miller here, Ryan, as they head through turns 1 and 2. They're going to come off the corner, and there is at least a foot between those two cars. Poor Craig Forsyth, he gets forgiven on the front wing, but he's not forgiven on the suspension damage. The right front was towed way out on that car. We're going to go back. Let's go back and get it from an onboard of Forsyth. This is what he sees. There's no way to avoid that for Craig Forsyth. And then he's forgiven, but it's going to let Lovern and Gallas split him coming down the back. We're going to get one more view of it from the roll bar of Gary Lovern. And here's what he sees to sneak past into what would become the bottom step of the podium. Watch this view, Ryan. It's a game of inches, isn't it?
Yeah, it really came down to it at the end, and oof.
It most certainly did. Your results tonight from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Your winner, Lith Fox, Hugo Gallas, and Gary Lovern. They're going to come home second and third. Great night for the Votive Racing League entries. Frisky Frankie win. In the second Mariah car, he'll be fourth. Craig Forsyth, he'll nurse his wounded 40 Raceware Forsyth Racing Machine home in fifth. Yari Brubaker, Andrew Surwack, Joseph Morales, Alex Miller, and Nate Fields, they are going to come home 6th through 10th. In 11th, it's Will Stearns, Matt Wagner, 12th out of gas, Matthias Marcamini, 13th, Mason Mitchum, Sheridan Wade, 14th and 15th, Ryan O'Donoghue soldiers home to complete the distance, 3 laps down, Charles Teed and Chris Stouffer out of the race, 17th and 18th. Now, if I had to hazard a guess, I'd be willing to bet, Ryan, that we're going to have a very happy Hugo Gallas and a very happy Gary Lovern in the booth here in just a couple of moments.
Yes, we are.
Hugo is always such a great interview. And I don't know that we've had a chance to have Gary in the interview room. I know I haven't interviewed him. He may have with Gary, but what a great run for Gary Lovern. So let's get him on in here. Gary, you've got Mark and you've got the wreck, Ryan Eric King in the P1 Broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
I do, Mark.
So that last, you were in the hunt all day, and by the way, great run. For those of you who don't know, Gary Lovern is a former teammate of mine, and so all the respect, and he and Hugo Gallas both, all the respect in the world for Gary and Hugo. Congratulations on a great run, Gary.
Thank you.
Talk to us about that final lap. Ryan and I said it was kind of a game of inches. Forsyth got into the spinning car of Alex Miller. You managed to dive it just far enough to the left to avoid it. Kind of talk us through your thought process and what you were thinking about doing on that last lap had you been able to race it clean.
Yeah, I was, dirty air was killing me. And Craig, he's a master. Whenever I get a good run on him, he knew where to put the car where I couldn't get around him. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he hit another car or he had to swerve for another car, but man, I thought I was going to hit him too, and that was, the only chance I had going down that backstretch. Hugo snuck in on the inside, even though he was there. So, congrats to Hugo. But yeah, that was the only way I was going to get by Craig.
Yeah, no, Craig Forsyth is definitely he can definitely make that he can make that car really wide when he wants to.
Yes, he can. Yeah.
Ryan, what do you have for Mr. Lovren this evening?
I'd say, how did the last lap go down from your end? Like, pretty much from us here in the booth, it seemed like four guys had a chance of winning the race, and you weren't one of those four, yet you were able to get your way onto the podium.
Yeah, I was sitting back there. I was trying to find a hole, and like I said, the dirty air it really stunk. I was just trying to find an opening, and luckily it happened.
Sometimes it pays to be lucky than good. I've had that exact same accident.
Exactly.
I've had that exact same accident happen in front of me in Area 51, and I think you might have been in that race when I set the IMS altitude record and
Yes. Yeah.
took
Yeah.
I medevaced myself to Methodist in that one. But it's just a game of inches, right? Like
It
sometimes
is. It really is.
sometimes you guess right, sometimes you guess wrong, and sometimes you get through it, and sometimes you pound the fence, and there's not really a whole lot to say about it otherwise. But great run tonight. Great run for you and your team. Friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. The floor is yours, and you can stay in here when we interview Hugo as well if you want.
Sure. Yeah, I'd like to thank Votive Racing, Shane Coker, and my teammates Hugo and Mason. Man, they were a big help. Good game planning there as far as saving fuel, and Hugo for that nice pass. Man, what a good job. Um, and that's it. And you guys for the job you do, as always. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, Gary. Thank you so much
Yep.
for joining in. We're going to bring Hugo on in here. Hugo, you've got Murph and you've got the wreck Ryan Eric King in the broadcasting booth. Shane, your team owner is in here asking for a duo interview, and so Gary is in here too. But Hugo, you wound up second. I believe you were fifth going into turn one on the final lap. Talk to us about what you saw and how you made it through. How you made it through that, and then were there any thoughts of, oh my goodness, Lith is way out there. I'm going to have a huge run.
Well, good night, Mark, Ryan. And I was stressed during the race because I had connection problems. I don't know what happened with my connection yesterday in Rd13. I had the same problem. I don't know if erasing or my connection. First time for me with this problem. And I prefer, at the moment I say, I had to let Gary pass me. But 3 laps to go, I say, I'm going to attack and see what happens. And well, you say in the turn one I was fifth. The incidents. Oh, I see the opportunity. Okay, I go to the podium, and well, I'm here, happy, and I'm really happy for me, for the team, and because this last Monday and yesterday, I have not a good results in the leagues.
No, I mean Hugo, great result. I said it earlier to Gary. It's personally really awesome for me to see both of you running as well as you are. We've been teammates in the past, and so I'm really proud to see you and Gary running up front in these things. Ryan, what do you have for Hugo?
I'd say what were the conditions out there like today for you, Hugo? Because the people listening in, don't let the last lap fool you. Hugo was running up front for most of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the race, I I was progressing. I don't know if but was progressing steam by steam. My quality was really bad, and on the middle of the race, I was P8, and the final, I know that I need in the lead group for a top 5 or fighting the race. And but with my connection problems, I lost the focus in that moment because I don't catch two other guys. Jerry in that moment was behind me. After that, Matias and Mason was I lost the focus maybe for between lap 100 and 115, but I see the opportunity in the last lap. Well, sincerely, honestly, uh, this result is awesome. This result is not in my mind maybe 10 minutes ago.
Well, it's here, right? It happened, and so that's the main thing, Hugo. Just one more step, and we're going to see a Hugo Gallows win here on P1. I thank you so much for jumping in. Thank you so much for joining us in the interview room. Friends, family, sponsor, shout outs, man. The floor is yours, Hugo. I love a Hugo Gallows interview. Go ahead, my friend.
Mark, well, my apologies, everyone, for my English. And
no, it's better than mine. Come on, man. Don't discount yourself.
Thank you. And well, the team, body team, Shane and everyone in the team, Gary for support and tolerate my language and my moves in the race, and my family, my wife, my son, my friends. Well, you, Mark, and Ryan, excellent job as always in P1, and see you in another opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead, Hugo.
No, congrats, Lead, for the win, and Alex for the championship, and thank you to Matt for put the league at this great league for us. Sorry.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Keep going fast and having fun, boys.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
thank you, Mark. Bye. Good night.
That's Hugo Gallows. Gary Lovern, the Votive Racing League team, runs second and third. For your winner tonight, we're going to go ahead and bring We're going to go ahead and bring in Lith Fox. Lith, you got Murph and you got the wreck in the P1 broadcasting booth. I tell you what, man, those last laps were wild. Ultimately, a massive net code kind of put paid to the battle between you and Alex. But what was your plan going in to those last 5 laps or so? What did you want? What was your ideal, and where did you want to be?
Honestly, I felt like I was exactly where I wanted to be going into that. I want to go ahead and address that, though. The net code there absolutely made me very distraught. I almost thought about stopping before the start-finish line. I wanted that, epic battle to the end with me and Alex, because I've been wanting that since the iRacing official Indy 500, and we still just haven't gotten it. But I felt like I was exactly where I wanted to be. Going side by side into there, there's really not a lot you can do, especially without the hybrid system like we're supposed to get next season. There's not a lot you can do in some of those straights coming off the corners. So it's just about positioning and making sure you have the car where you want it to be, and making sure you can bleed off speed of others. But it was basically, I'd honestly say, a 3 or 4 person battle there at the end, possibly coming out of turn 4 if we made it all the way around. But I felt like I was in probably the best spot I could be, and I was just going to take it one turn at a time and see what everybody else did, and try and get myself maybe a good slingshot off of 4 and maybe stem some of their momentum and hopefully keep the lead there. That was kind of just, I guess, a vague plan I had going into turn 1.
Mr. Ryan Eric King?
Yes. So Lith obviously it was a big sort of, we called it a gaggle in the booth. It was like a scramble for the win there at the end with you, Frank, and well, not Hugo at the end, but Craig. And how did you and Frank decide when and how to make that last push to the front?
Honestly, I think it was more Hugo started catching up on Frankie. At that point, Frankie decided, well, this is it. This is when we start pushing. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well, this is fair game then. This is the final laps. We're racing. This is, like, as much as we are teammates, we still like to battle each other. We still like to race each other. Obviously, we don't want to get each other in trouble. We don't want to, wreck each other out or anything like that. So we do have to be careful of that. But we still race hard. I think it would be disappointing to anyone watching the races, watching our streams, watching the broadcast, if we didn't and we just team ordered it or something. Frankie's always really strong, and I try to be I try to stay on par with him, at least at tracks where I know that I'm capable of doing that. So Indy's one of my stronger tracks, so I try to actually give him the battle he deserves.
Yeah.
But we decided around the time Hugo was about to pass him. That's the answer to your question. Sorry.
Oh no, it was perfect. No, I mean, I definitely want to also ask, and this is my last question. I had thought that you and Frankie might have been in the driver's seat just because of the fuel situation. Was there any thought to gas only at the end, and just try to break the draft and just have it come down between you two?
There was actually a small amount of strategy to try and get each of us. We were planning on doing a draft swap on our own to try and see if we could try and do that. Unfortunately, some people didn't stay in the draft as long as we expected and broke off earlier than we expected. So it kind of shortened our plans there a little bit and did throw a little bit of a wrench into it. So there was plans for it, and then it immediately ended a lap later. So yeah, we tried and it didn't work out.
There you go. Well, I do thank you very much. We do thank you very much for your time. And thank you so much for joining us, Lith. As always, my friends, family, sponsors, shout outs, the floor is yours.
Honestly, shout out to Alex for winning the championship and also for the great battle there at the end. I'm really upset that we ended that with a netcode issue there into turn 1. I was really hoping we'd at least make it to turn 4 so we could try and have a good battle to the end. But I really appreciate all of the racing that we did together. Frankie, of course, being my teammate over at Mirai, helping me get into the league, been supporting me and all this other stuff, as well as all of my viewers who have been supporting me and being around, who've been awesome. And then finally, to Team Mirai VRT, our VTuber racing team that Frankie and I are a part of, for just being a great support group and being there to make sure that we can, share tools and resources and just be really awesome friends together. So shout out to them as well. And also to you guys for broadcasting. You guys have been amazing.
Well, we definitely appreciate that comment, Lith. The compliments, Lith. Keep going fast, having fun, my friend, and congratulations on a big win in Indy.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. That is Lith Fox. He is tonight's winner. And the final interview of the evening is going to be what might be one of the happiest and most disappointed people in all of sim racing at this very moment, Alexander Miller. Alex, you win the championship. You do win the championship, so you walk away with the big trophy. The small trophy was on offer for you tonight, and it just it came down to some electrons in cyberspace that didn't quite meet up correctly. I know you've got to be disappointed, but talk about your season and what it means to win a championship like this.
Yeah, like obviously I was kind of saying to my Twitch chat there while I was in the waiting room, just vibing. I was like, as much as I wanted the championship season to wrap off with a win, the season I had is the best season I've put together in anything, period. Like, I mean, when you look at the stats, I only finished outside of the top 10, I think, twice this season. And I think basically all of those top 10s, except for this one at Indy, were podiums, I believe, or wins. So it was a really, this season as a whole, because there was definitely some points this year where I'm just like, man, I think I'm just kind of washed up with IndyCar on ovals at this point. I'm not as good as I used to be. This season showed me I still got it.
You most certainly do still have it. Ryan, what do you have for the champion this evening?
Well, the same question I usually have for every champion. Are you going to do it again next year?
We'll see. I've kind of been planning on taking a little hiatus from like online and like more serious racing for a bit, just have some fun with some other stuff. But I know we have about almost 2 months till the season starts, so we'll see. I might, I might not. I would love to though. So well, I'll have the intention of it, but we'll see how I'm feeling in 2 months.
There you go. I suspect that we will see you back, Alex. Great run on the season. Congratulations. Congratulations on the chip. As always, you win the big trophy and you get the mic. So shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. It is all up to you, my friend.
All right, I've got my lists ready to go. Shout out to Alacia Designs. I should probably ask them how that's pronounced. They changed their name. They were formerly Kagaya Designs, but now they changed their brand name. They did my work with the IndyCar livery and everything else. Well, not everything else, but with the Porsche GTP as well as the V8 supercar that I used during the Bathurst 1000 week. So, and they've been helpful with me while I've been working on some of my own liveries on my own. So they're awesome. Highly recommend them. They're great to work with and do a great job with liveries, as you can get to see on my car on the broadcasts. Shout out to Lithium Fox and Frankie for allowing me to join them for their streams on the VC these last few weekends, and even bigger shout out to Lith for finally winning a race in this league. He's been so close so many times. I'm so happy for him. I know he feels a little bad because of the net code, but I'll yell at him about it. Don't worry. I'm very, very happy for him. And then shout out to Taylor Mills for, I think the way I worded it in a post when I clinched the championship was like, for kind of believing in me when she allowed me to join her team for ABN Champ Car about a year and a half ago. Like, even though I chose to move on from being on a team for a bit and go out on my own, like the time at TMR with people with like Olivia Hayward, Lilac Zier, Joe Mugford, Neil DeBacher, just everyone there who was like helpful with me, teaching me not even just IndyCar, but like road racing in general, and getting better at ovals in the IndyCar. The people like that teaching me what they taught me is why I'm in here for the championship interview right now. So I'm very appreciative of all of them, and I'm glad to call all of them friends. Shout out to Matt Wagner and Shane Coker for putting on the league. It's a very fun time racing in this league, as I'll get to in a second here. Andrew does the setup work around here and does great jobs every week. The setups this season have been, I think there was maybe one or two that I didn't get along with, but other than that, they've been perfect every week. I really enjoy his sets. And shout out to all of the other drivers who have shown up to Horizon this season. Like, I know I've definitely ruffled some feathers. There might be some people in here who don't really like me, but like, I don't think I'm winning any most popular driver awards anytime soon. But this league this year has been so much fun for me, and is really, even with iRacing kind of admittedly messing up the IndyCar a bit, it's been really great and revitalizing my want to really run IndyCar on ovals a bit more, because I did kind of go through a stretch of like, I don't really like this. And then, as always, shout out to the P1 broadcasting crew for putting on so many broadcasts to showcase the IndyCar community on iRacing. And shout out to my Twitch chat, who twitch.tv/ the Alex Mill are here live right now. They can virtually wave to the broadcast if they want, I guess. But yeah, shout out to everyone. I've only just recently got into streaming. I've been streaming for like a week, and the support has been unreal, and I'm very appreciative of everyone who shows up to my Twitch chat to support me during races like this. That was a mouthful.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for dropping in. Congratulations on the championship. Keep going fast, having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Yeah.
That is Alex Miller. He is the Horizon IndyCar Series Season 2 champ. And Ryan, that race, much like the entire season, did not disappoint. It was a fantastic battle up until the end. I am very surprised that the Mirai cars did not do gas only and try to separate, but Liv Fox winds up in victory lane anyway. The final points standings should be, I'm going to check these and make sure, I'm going to check them and make sure they're out. But before we do that, what are your final thoughts on the on season 2 here?
Final thoughts. We saw pretty much exciting racing at nearly every event we went to this year. Getting a peek at next year's schedule, I'm excited for the races we have in the cards next year, especially the road course race and motorsport. Should be a great season.
Yeah, we do have an exciting schedule planned here in the Horizon IndyCar Series, and there it is. We will be back, same time, same channel, January 7th. We're going to go to Michigan, then Iowa on January 21st. In the month of February, Portland, Kentucky, and Twin Ring Motegi. March 11th, Pocono, Mossport. So we're going to go road racing at the end of March. April races include Chicagoland, Homestead, and California. May the 6th at Texas, and that's my favorite track, Ryan. Love that track. And the finale, May the 20th, is going to be from Indianapolis. We do want to thank everybody who tuned in throughout the season. We also want to thank the competitors for putting on a tremendous show. We'd be remiss if we didn't also mention the Joy of Driving and 40 Racewear for their support of the Horizon IndyCar Series. I also want to personally thank Matt Wagner for having Ryan and I do his series. We know that they have a choice, and so do want to thank them for choosing us. But most of all, we want to thank the people who really make this possible: the policemen, the firefighters, the military, the EMTs driving the ambulance, Ryan, and the nurse that unloads you when you get there. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We do appreciate you. We will see everybody in 2026.